Hi everyone, this is Nikki Rowland and today I'm taking part in Marie's Peartree Cut Files online crop. I am using this fabulous what's it called? Under the Sea. My layout's called Waterworld. This Under the Sea cut file, and this is for the final challenge of the day, which is to basically to use your cut file in a different way. So I have certainly used it in a different way. I have used a Sharpie to draw it. Now I didn't do this by hand. I used my silhouette to do it. I have the I have the pen holder attachment for my silhouette, which means basically you take the blade out of the machine and pop in the pen holder, and then you can put any pen in the pen holder and it will draw instead of cut your cut file. So that's what I did, but I normally would do this with the sketch pens that you can buy specifically for the silhouette, but they give you a really fine line, and I was looking for something big and bold. So I've used the Sharpie. It is a fine tip Sharpie, but it's not a fine liner one. So it is still fairly thick, and you can see that it has really come out very bold. I was hoping it would be slightly more bold, in that I was kind of hoping that the lines of the cut file itself would be filled in, but anyway, it isn't, but that's okay. It kind of threw me a bit to begin with, because then I have the middle section that I'm colouring in, and then I have this outline, which is the piece that would be a solid piece if you were cutting it on the machine. Now I could have edited the cut file beforehand and taken out bits and made the outline I could have made it so that I took out the middle pieces so that I only had one piece to colour in, but anyway I didn't, and actually it's worked out really, really well. I love the look that it's turned out. So anyway, yeah, there is so I used marshmallow cardstock because I was planning to do painting. I have just a full sheet of 12 by 12 at the moment, and I've cut my design a little bit up from the bottom section. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with the rest of it. I have this fabulous photo of my boy underwater. We are in a swimming pool, not in the sea. I don't do the sea. Things swim in the sea, right? Apart from humans, and there's all kinds of weird and wonderful things in there, so I don't do sea. So we had a pool on holiday, and even though this photo is taken in a pool rather than the sea, I'm going to go with it anyway. I think it works. So I'm spending some time painting my cut file. So I've painted the seaweed, the leafy things, on the left in green. Now I'm using the Shimmerz August Color Kitz to paint my things today. So the first one that I've painted is a green spray called Bamboo Leaf. The second one I've just painted in yellow is called Glorious Day. That's a spray as well. Then I'm using this red one. Is like a dark pinky red that's called, it's an Inklings or a Creamies, I can't remember, but it's a solid paint that you apply water to and you get quite a thick paint. So I'm using that one for this. I don't know what any of these plants are called. The tubular one. I'm sure these things have real names and I should probably have done some research, but anyway, I don't know what they're called, but anyway, I love them all. I think they're all fabulous. So anyway, I'm painting this particular strange looking plant in red. And then I'm going to do the ones over on the right hand side in a deeper green. It's kind of like a greeny teal, turquoisey one called Slow Ocean. That's a new exclusive colour to the Shimmerz August Color Kit, which is pretty cool. I'm just going to paint away over here, and I get a bit confused with which plant is which at this point, and then I get confused with my lines. So I think I've painted a few sections that shouldn't be painted, but I correct it later because I'm going to add glitter. So Under the Sea to me is all about sparkle, right? So if you see these images on like the TV, everything's always bright colours and really glittery. Now I've actually been to coral reef in Australia, and it does not look like that when you're under the water yourself looking. I think they take photos on special cameras and brighten them up, but they definitely doesn't look colourful when you actually go diving to see it. But anyway, those fantastic images that divers take and then enhance probably are the colours that are actually under the water. It's just that we can't see it properly with our eyes or through the colour of the sea. So anyway, I decided to go anyway, those images I always think are bright colours, shiny, shimmery, glittery. Maybe that's because the sea kind of glistens with the sun. I don't know. Anyway, so the thing that screamed out to me to do with this layout was to add glitter. I love glitter, and I'm using shimmery paint as well, but I thought I would really maximise that with glitter. Just to clarify at this point, I'm colouring in the grass on the bottom of the sea in green. What was I thinking? Obviously there is no grass at the bottom of the sea. There is sand, so this should be yellow, but I for some reason got carried away with the green. I was like, oh, they're like hills, so I coloured it all in green, and then I realised later that, oh, that was stupid, they should have been yellow for sand. Anyway, I correct that later as well. So yeah, so now I need to fill in the sea, and I've got the fabulous Slow Ocean colour, which is the exclusive one in the August Color Kit. I decided I was just going to go round the outline of my plants, and then it would look like it was underwater. But anyway, you will see in a minute that I get a bit carried away on the right hand side, and the line, I've just done it there, the line around that wiggly plant looks really harsh. It was supposed to kind of look like a glow, but actually it doesn't, and it's really quite dark, and I don't like it. Anyway, I leave it for quite some time, and then I sort it out later. There's lots of corrections on this layout that I have to sort out later. I think I've said that about 3 times now. Anyway, so I'm carrying on just adding my colour around the outside of my plants, and then I will come back and sort that out later on as well. But yeah, you can see the left side looks fine, but the right side, it really doesn't. I don't really understand what I did wrong, but it definitely doesn't look right. Maybe it's too dark, or I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't work, so I do correct it later on. So just adding a few splatters, but then I realised that was silly to add splatters because my paint's still wet, so therefore my splatters just blend into my paint that's wet. If I wait for it to dry, then it will sit on top. So I'm just coming in with the green now, adding a few green splatters to my grass that's actually supposed to be sand, that sits on top because that paint's already dry. But my blue one definitely doesn't, the splatters don't show, only on the bits that don't have paint on the white background, I mean. Okay, so that's my painting at the moment complete. So now I need to come in with my glitter. So my glitter has been hidden in my craft room for several months because I have a 2-year-old, he's just turned 2, but ever since he was about 18 months, he's just been causing chaos and havoc in my craft room. He loves to go through all of my drawers and just empty stuff out, throw it on the floor, open up pots, pour stuff out. So basically everything that I don't want trashed is hidden in a locked drawer, including the glitter, because you can imagine how interesting pots of sparkly stuff is to a 2-year-old. So anyway, it was really fun to pull out all my glitters and have a look at them. So I use a really fine tip glue pot, that has a really, really fine nozzle, and I just applied the PVA glue with that fine tip to the specific areas of the plant. Now I've done green on the left, I've done yellow on the yellow spiky plant, I've done red glitter on the red tubular plant, I've done pink on the pink seashell shaped thing bottom left, and then I've got the kind of jade green glitter over on the plants on the right, and some more red bits down the bottom right as well. I had to, I just did that first bit on video before it skipped forward to this section, because I needed to step away from the layout and wait for it to dry, because all the paint that I had just done wasn't completely dry, so therefore my glitter was going to stick in places it shouldn't. Okay, so here I have now corrected the sand. So I now have gold sand instead of green sand, which was very silly of me. I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, I just applied glue all over those hills that are the bottom of the sea, and then put gold glitter all over it, so it really does look like sand now rather than grass. Excellent. And now I'm just encrusting the bottom of my tubular plant with sequins. So this is the sequin mix from Spiegelmom Scraps that was in the Shimmerz August Color Kit. It's called Melon Ball, I think. I just really liked the look of those sequins. I did it for another layout where I encrusted this, like the shape of the sea or the waves, and it looked really good, so I thought I would do the same technique here, and I've just used that at the bottom of these tubular plants. They look really great. And then I'm doing the same thing with the yellow plant, but I'm only using the yellow and greeny sequins. So the bottom of the tubular one, I've used all the different colours to give like just a different effect really. You can't see it too well in this video, but hopefully you'll see it in the close-up. It does look really good. It just gives the impression of lots of like maybe little seashells, or I don't know. But anyway, it looks nice. I'm happy with how it looks. So I just had to manipulate some of them with my pokey tool to make sure that I got them in the right place. I just applied loads of glossy accents to stick the sequins to, but of course they don't always go perfectly in position, so I had to move some around and move some off. Okay, so here I am now going to correct my background. I would say I really wasn't happy with how the right hand side of the layout was looking, so I'm going to extend my C up to the entire page. So I'm just taking a flat paintbrush, that's a bigger paintbrush than I was using before, and I've just dipped into the pot of Shimmerz, added some water, and then painted it on all the way up to the top. I haven't done a definite line, I wanted it to kind of fade out. I've sprayed some water on where I need to water it down a bit where it was a bit thick on the layout, and then I'm just moving the colour around, and I'm just hopefully it will look a bit better than it did originally. So the light is shining on it not perfectly. Oh, I think it's because I've got loads of water on there as well that it didn't look perfect, and I've blotted it off with a tissue as well, which gives another different type of look altogether. Okay, now that my layout is, I'm happy with that background, and I've got the bottom section all embellished and encrusted with sequins and glitter, I can now move on to the rest of my layout. So okay, back to the photo. I have this fantastic photo of my boy underwater. We have a little, it's a kid's version of a GoPro camera, and it's so tiny. It's like about 3 inches square, so super tiny, we took that into the swimming pool with us on holiday and were snapping photos. The problem is you really can't see what photos you take, so it was only later on the computer that we could pull them up and actually view the photos, was so happy to have got a few really good ones. We've got lots of terrible ones of half people, you know, you miss them, they're out of shot, you've got an arm or a leg or something, but no faces. Anyway, we had lots of different interesting snaps there. So this one was one of the best ones that we had from the underwater camera, so yeah. I have that's going to sit at the top in that gap there, and I've just mounted it onto a piece of green cardstock. I have a journaling card behind it, and then I'm just going to put a bit of a cluster over on the right hand side of the photo. Obviously this layout is very busy already, I can't add loads of embellishments, but I've pulled out everything that I have that is sea themed. In this month's one of the kits I received, one of the exclusive ephemera packs in there had a starfish and some shells and some fish, so I put out all those, and then I went looking at the Dear Lizzie collection, the Here and Now, and pulled out a few more bits from there. So a couple of kind of leaves. Over top right of my photo, I've pulled out some palm leaves. Now, strictly speaking, I don't think you get palm leaves under the sea, but they were green and they were leafy, so I figured they were okay. And I've used the word high five. That was on the Dear Lizzie sticker sheet, and that goes really well because when we swim underwater on holiday in the swimming pool, the kids go up one end of the pool and I go up the other end of the pool, and we swim underwater towards each other, high five in the middle, and then carry on swimming past. And that's a little game that we play every holiday. They love it. I love it less so because that means I have to get my hair wet and go underwater, but they really love it. So we do that every time. So this was one of those days. So the high five works really well, top right of the photo. So just adding a few other bits to that cluster. I've got a fish, I've got a dot from one of the Shimmerz kits, the August Color Kit. And I'm adding in some more flowers and things here from the Dear Lizzie collection. I really love the fish swimming across the layout. It's really cool. And then I turned off for a bit because I was nearly finished. I think it was late at night and I had to step away from scrapbooking. And so this is the next day, and at this point I'd been through some of my older collections because I knew I had some mermaids somewhere, and I have found this mermaid collection. I literally have so few bits left, literally about 3 mermaids and a couple of bits of paper, but only like 6x4 size, really tiny amount, but I kept it because I knew at some point I would probably use it. So I've added the snorkel and mask at the top there, and now I'm adding in these 2 mermaids who look like they're chatting together, and there's another mermaid that I'm putting down on the right hand side. She is fussy cut from one of the mermaid papers. I don't even remember what the collection was called, probably something like Let's Be Mermaids, and I can't even remember who it was by, Echo Park, or it might even have been Bella Boulevard. I really can't remember. I should stop guessing because I don't know. And then I've added some puffy stickers as well, and then I've added some seashell sequins that I found from this Spiegelmom Scraps set. And then what I'm doing now is I'm adding bubbles. So the background needed some bubbles on it, and I thought about just randomly scattering sequins everywhere, but that didn't look right, so I went for sets of 3 in a row, and they look perfect. They really look perfect. So I'm just doing that now, adding sets of these 3, little line of 3 sequins in the greeny colour from that's the same as the background. I'm just getting those stuck in place with glossy accents. Normally I would scatter my sequins, I wouldn't be so prescriptive as to where they go, but on this occasion, because they were bubbles, they looked so good in the formation, so I've done that. Okay, so now I've found also, when I was going through my older stash, I found these jewels. They are like crystals, and I had a set that was this like aquamarines, so some teals and aquas, and they were just so great, so perfect to go along the bottom section of this layout. So I'm just adding those in. I think I ended up with about 2 left, and I thought, well, what am I ever going to do with those? So I'm just going to stick those on this layout too. So that's why there's a couple going in at the top of the near the photo as well, rather than just along the bottom of the sea. Okay, that's me pretty much done. Oh, I forgot to say that I added in a title off camera that says Water World. That's just underneath my camera, underneath my photo. And there's also a piece of rope that's not rope, it's like string, but I've tied it in knots at various intervals, and that's underneath my photo as well. So that is me done, finished. This was a pretty epic layout. It took a while, but I absolutely love the result. It looks brilliant in real life, and I hope you can see it well enough on the close-up. So anyway, head over to the Peartree Cut Files group to join in with the challenges. Thank you so very much for joining me. That was Nikki Rowland, guest designing for Peartree Cut Files.